Have you ever had a crazy dream where Thor was a Pokemon? Welcome to Shut Eye Theater, and I had a bizarre dream where Iron Man and Thor became Pokemon. You see what happened? The Avengers were fighting a great, powerful being. This was a multi-dimensional being. He travels across multiple different worlds and universes. And he ripped up a fabric in the universe where Thor and Iron Man fell through. And they ended up in, well, the Pokemon world. And as they went through, their powers changed. But for both of them, actually. Thor still was Thor. He still was the massive person he was. But he didn't have the power of thunder anymore, or even flight. His powers shifted and changed, and he became more like, well, a fire-type Pokemon of anything. Where he could shoot out, like, flamethrower, lava smash, like a couple things like that, where it's just all fire-based powers, and still very strong himself. Where Iron Man, he became a Pokemon-like being that was more techno-based, very unique looking, one that you wouldn't have usually seen, and he could still project his face on a screen on the surface of himself. He went and worked with Dr. O to be able to see if they could figure out how to get back. They were kind of stuck there. Now, Thor being Thor, he likes to pick fights. Well, he's in the right place. A lot of Pokemon like to just fight for sport. So he had a lot of fun playing around until he came across one, a very unique Pokemon. One that actually doesn't exist in that universe. And he started fighting it. Now, this one was also kind of a wood fire type. So plant fire type is very different. Now, Thor still had a piece of Mjolnir, but it changed as well as it came here. It turned into a special type of stone in Pokemon. For those of you know Pokemon, you know what some stones can do. And, well, Thor being Thor, threw it at this weird Pokemon, and it made it evolve. So this piece of Mjolnir, when it hit this other Pokemon, became a form of a stone that could give it power to make it evolved. Now, it could have done some extra things for Thor, just like Mjolnir always does. But he did what it does. Well, he did what he always does with Mjolnir. He threw him. And it turned out not very good. So now this Pokemon was massive. I mean massive. About 3 stories tall. Plant-based. It looked like a massive oak tree with swinging arms. But also kind of looked like he's as hard as stone. And is just throwing punches at everything, and it just became a rampage. And Thor was throwing everything he had. 2 ice-type Pokemon joined him to kind of help fight him while he used his fire-type to the best of his ability. Now, Thor being Thor is like, I need more ram's blood or something. And Iron Man threw a walkie-talkie. It's like, Thor, you're just going to get yourself sick if you drink more ram's blood. Like, what are you talking about? But Thor just being his Viking self, just kind of doing what he could. And as he goes in to try and throw a punch at this massive Pokemon, he just gets hit across like 3 towns. Like, completely passed across every place. And Thor just in a field where laundry strung up on cords, like, well, that didn't work. Yeah. Massively weird dream. Now, the crazy Pokemon that he was facing was actually the same being that they were facing in the other worlds. Just as he came through that same dimensional rift, he changed into a form of a Pokemon as well, and became a problem in that world. Now, unfortunately, just like any good dream of mine, it is interrupted by something, something called an alarm clock. And I never got to finish it. So I never got to see what Thor and Iron Man did to be able to return back home. Or even how Thor might have eventually figured out how to use these fire powers to his full advantage instead of being, well, guessing, more or less. It was weird and interesting at the same time. Have you ever had a dream that combined 2 things that, well, aren't really meant to be combined? Let me know in the comments, and until next time, sweet dreams.